Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast. I'm your host, Kelee. I forgot to say the name of it again.
Oh.
I did that last week. Okay.
Okay.
Stop the Internet Podcast. I'm your host, Kelee.
I'm Jimmy.
Today, we're talking about weird stories. I don't know how to describe what we're talking about today. I feel like it'll just speak for itself, maybe.
Yeah, I got a couple previews and they sound a little weird, so
Yeah.
I'd go with weird stories.
Okay, cool. Should we do a fact?
Oh, yeah. I live for the facts.
Okay. Do you have any on the top of your mind?
Oh, wait. I thought it was a question. Never mind. A fact. Oh, I have a fact.
Oh,
Do you know another name for a blimp?
Yeah, I do. But, what is it? Don't tell me. A blimp? Wait, I don't know, actually.
A zeppelin.
A zeppelin, yes. Okay, I think I did know
Yeah.
that. I just forgot.
It always blows my mind because I'm a speech language pathologist. I don't know if I ever shared that on the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
but...
that's a good fact.
Oh, yeah, that could have been it.
Yeah.
But when I
Now you
have
too.
kids that have to work on the Z phoneme, so like Zeppelin is always one of them, and they're like, that's a blimp. And I'm like, you know what? I agree.
Aww.
That is a blimp. Who calls it a
Yeah.
Zeppelin?
A zeppelin? I wonder if zeppelin was a brand or if blimp was a
True.
brand name and then like the other word would just be the generic name. Like, you know how Kleenex and tissue?
Yeah.
Like some people call all tissues Kleenex or
Right.
like Band-Aids. That's a brand name. It's actually like a bandage. And then
That's
Band-Aid is a
true.
brand.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that happened with that.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder if like that's a different type of thing, Zeppelin.
True. Like a version of a blimp.
Yeah, or like not even a blimp at all. And I'm just like,
No, it
making this
definitely
up.
is. It definitely is a blimp.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zeppelin.
Is it a brand name?
I don't know. It
It's loading.
It won't load. Oh, wait, Zeppelin is a type of rigid airship named after the German inventor Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin. Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So it was named after him. I wonder if blimp was a nickname for it because it kind of just looks like a blimp. Like if you see a blimp, you're like, yeah, that's called a
Oh, wait,
blimp.
Zeppelin and blimp difference. Blimp is a type of airship with non-rigid structure. A Zeppelin has rigid structure.
Oh, okay.
And that is why I'm a speech language pathologist and not a pilot or whatever.
We're a history teacher.
Yes.
I have a fact.
Okay.
I majored in advertising in college, and I just thought of that because what I was just saying was something we learned about in our branding and marketing classes. So when you have a brand name that becomes what people call the item like as a generic name, you would think that's a good thing, but it's actually a bad thing because when I'll use Kleenex, for example, if you really like the brand Kleenex, you're going to seek out just that brand and pick that. But then if you don't care, suddenly all Kleenexes become the same. Like when every tissue is a Kleenex, the Kleenex brand is no longer special.
Right. Okay.
So then it hurts the brand Kleenex. And then the same thing happened with the word bikini. Apparently bikini was a brand. And then people just started calling all two-piece bathing suits bikinis. And you don't know the brand bikini anymore. Isn't that so interesting?
Wow, that is interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense though because like a Kleenex box of Kleenex might be $3 and then an off-brand might be like $1.50.
Yeah.
So people might, if they don't really care about it, they're going to go for the $1.50 anyways and not even worry about getting the Kleenex, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
wow.
Yeah, isn't that so interesting? I find this so fascinating. And I'm like, why do I care about this branding? But it's interesting
That's
to
big.
me.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Okay, that's my fun fact.
Wow.
Cool. Wow. Zeppelins and branding. What a
Ooh.
good start.
So fun.
And I feel like our listeners just learned something.
Yeah.
And I also learned something.
Me too.
Wait, one more thought about blimps. Do you know there's only like 25 blimps in the world?
I did know that. And you want to know why I knew that? Because when we were in college, my friend went to Bloomsburg University. I wasn't there yet. I got my master's there, but I was in undergrad at Westchester at the time.
Okay.
Bloomsburg had to cancel classes one day because a blimp, it was a runaway blimp, and they could not catch the blimp. Like it
Wait,
was just
what?
off. Yeah. And it was headed for the campus and they had to lock down the entire campus because they didn't know where the blimp was going to go down. And then everyone was like, one of the remaining blimps, whatever. And of course, it's lost over central Pennsylvania in Bloomsburg. Yeah.
What happened? Did it crash on the campus?
It didn't crash. I don't know if they intercepted it or what. It didn't crash on the campus, but I do know that they had classes canceled because my friends that went there were like, oh yeah, like we're going out, we're daging, like the blimp is on the loose. Like they weren't locked down. They were at the
That's
bar. They
so
were at
funny.
Hess Tavern.
Something that I think is hilarious is when things happen and then people create a party out of it. Like when a completely random thing will happen and then people start partying because of it. Like the blimp thing. It's like, oh, the blimp is uncontrollable. We must have a dage to celebrate.
Yeah,
you know?
and then you're going
I
to
love
always like
that.
associate that with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is that so funny to me? The only other example I can think of is actually something that I think is bad. But when I was in high school, there was a hurricane and my one friend's parents, they were like a very wealthy family. They were going to a hurricane party. And on a Saturday night when this hurricane was hitting, they were all having a party, but then they were all going to drive home. And I was like, okay, that probably is bad.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to shelter in place when this really bad hurricane was coming through and like trees were falling, power was out. But I was like, that is just rich people behavior to have a hurricane party.
Yeah,
So I
that
feel like
is.
that's a bad one. But I can't think of any other funny scenarios why people have parties right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, snow days, that was like always the
Yeah.
most fun days in college, like the snow day drinks.
Totally.
I don't know. People will have a party for anything.
I know, but I love that.
Especially now too, like now that the COVID restrictions are not as intense, I feel like people are really trying to like spend more time around other people.
Yeah.
So these parties are like popping up.
Yes, I have never gone out more than I have in the past year. And I think it's just because I'm making up for all the lost time with COVID. I'm like, I never spend a weekend not with people and like doing something.
Yeah, I know. I got to start getting better at that.
I kinda
Spending
love it.
weekends not with people.
I mean, you got to do it. It's
Balance.
Yeah. Balance. It's just so fun. Like when people are like, I don't need to drink to have fun. I'm like, yeah, I don't need to drink to have fun either. But sometimes it helps, you know?
Yeah.
That's another side tangent. Sometimes I get annoyed when people are like, I don't need to drink to have fun. Like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, neither do I. I also don't need a snowboard to have fun. But in some settings, it helps. You know? Yeah. But also, if you don't drink, that's fine too. But don't make me feel bad about it.
Yeah. Talking to you, friends.
Yeah.
When I did not make dry January.
I was just gonna
I
say
made it
that.
2 weeks. Yeah, and I got shamed by my friends. I made it 14 days though. And I'll
That's
pick a couple
good.
days in February
Yeah.
to not dabble in the booze.
I feel like it's fine. Like, I think about it like this. I don't have a drinking problem. So if I want to drink 4 times a month, like on the 4 Saturdays of the month, I'm like, that's fine. Like, I
Right.
can do that. It doesn't matter. Like, it's not like I can't go. Maybe this is the point of dry January. Like, it's not like I'm addicted to alcohol, right? Like, no, I know I'm not, but
No, but it's a hobby, like going out and having a couple
Yeah.
drinks with your friends.
yeah. Like if I did it every single day and it was like to the point where I'm like, oh, I'm craving it, I might be like, you know what, I should do a dry month and take a break. But it's like, I'm going out for the Eagles game. Like I'm at a bar. I want to drink. You know?
Right. Yeah. No, that's how I'm too. And like I never drink during the week. So that's how I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like thought it would be like a cool little challenge, you know?
Yeah.
But it's okay. I made it 2
And
weekends in a row
that's
with no
great.
drinking.
That's great.
Thank you.
A girl that I'm friends with is doing dry January and she was out with us for the Eagles game last weekend. And I was like, wait, you're doing dry January? You're not drinking? She's like, yeah, I'm sticking to it. And I was like, oh, do you want to just drink today though? And she was like, no, I'm actually going to do it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, I am so impressed by you because if this was me, I literally would have been like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's just, I don't know. But I think it does matter.
All my friends, I mean, you met us out after the game.
Yeah.
Well, I guess toward the end of the game.
Yeah.
There was no one drinking water that day. I could tell you that much.
It was so funny when I walked into the bar during the fourth quarter and I just saw Jimmy and he's like, you were just so stoked and having so much fun. And I was so happy to see you. And I was like, dry January. And you're like, I don't care. And
No,
I was like, amazing.
It was done. Yep, it was
Amazing.
done.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I was like thinking about dry January and I'm like, I have a wedding, a destination wedding, my sister's birthday that we're going away for, a ski trip, and then one other weekend. And I was like, it's just not going to happen for me in January. I'm like, maybe March. I don't know.
No, my birthday's in March.
Oh, okay. So it's not going to happen at all. But that's okay. I'll do intermediate. Like I'll take the amount of time that dry January would have been and I'll just like split it up among the coming months. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. What am I doing? Maybe I won't. No. I was going to say, what if I was going to say maybe I won't drink this weekend, but I will be drinking this weekend, but that's fine.
Yeah, Eagles on Sunday.
Yes. And I'm going away. for my sister's birthday.
Oh, yeah, that's this weekend.
I'm going to try to make a vlog. I'm going to try to start vlogging again, so you guys can all subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want. I haven't made a video since her last birthday, probably.
Not much going on. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You're always doing stuff.
I need to start vlogging again. It's so fun.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, subscribe to my channel and this channel and the podcast. Yay. Okay, should we jump into it?
Let's get weird.
Oh, I like that title. Let's get weird. Am I, 47 male, overthinking my wife's, 40 female, behavior? My wife, who generally sleeps with nothing on at all, has recently started wearing oversized shirts to bed, saying she is cold. However, they are not my shirts. 2 shirts showed up in the laundry that my wife says belong to her daughter's boyfriend, and her daughter left them at the house. She has never worn my shirts to bed. Am I crazy, or does this seem more like behavior a woman would have with clothing of someone she is intimate with? I don't have a good enough relationship with my stepdaughter to ask about this, but her leaving things at our house is very believable. However, her and her boyfriend live over an hour away and they hardly ever come over, so I question that they are his shirts. She is always cold and has always been cold, but never wore shirts to bed before. My wife wouldn't be hiding a purchase because she can buy whatever she wants, and she definitely isn't trying to cover up for modesty.
It is a little weird.
That is so weird.
I don't know.
So basically, OP is a husband, and he's trying to figure out if his wife is wearing her daughter's boyfriend's clothes to bed or somebody else's clothes to bed.
Yeah, I guess. When's her birthday? Why don't you buy her a couple pajama sets? Costco. Very, very comfortable pajama sets.
I think that's a great resolution, because if what she's saying is true and she's actually just cold, that would solve all the problems.
Turn up the heat, man. I don't know.
Yeah. But also, why is she saying that it's her daughter's boyfriend's? Because if it is, that is so bizarre. Like, why are we choosing to wear our daughter's boyfriend's clothing? I think that's bizarre in itself. And then if she is cheating with an outsider, why is she deciding that she is going to claim that she's wearing her daughter's boyfriend's shirts? Like, wouldn't you think she would be like, oh, I just bought these because I wanted them?
Yeah.
Like, if it was somebody else's outside of their relationship.
Right. And I mean, OP didn't clarify whether or not like he asked and she said that, or did she just tell him that? Like,
that's a good
that would be
question.
One of my follow-up questions for OP.
Yeah.
Because is she like trying to like make him jealous of that? I don't know.
Or does she have a weird crush on the boyfriend?
That's what I was kind of taking it as at first. But then it made it sound like OP maybe thinks maybe they're another man's, right?
Right. Yeah. I think that it's so bizarre and problematic if they actually are her daughter's boyfriends. Like, I almost think that might be worse than if she's cheating on him. Because it's like, why do you have some sort of weird, emotional, romantic feeling towards your daughter's boyfriend? Like, there's one reason, it seems, why someone would wear someone else's clothing to bed. I feel like he's right about the last thing he said was, am I crazy, or does this seem like a behavior a woman would have with clothing of someone that she is intimate with? I feel like yes. Like, if my guy friend were to leave a shirt at my house, I would not be sleeping in it.
Really?
I would be like folding it up and giving it back to them the next time I saw them, right?
Yeah, I think that, yeah, I would probably do that too.
Yeah. But
That's
maybe if it was my boyfriend and it was a comfy t-shirt, I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to sleep in it.
Steal the shirts and send them UPS to the house.
To the daughter's house.
The daughter's house, and be like, oh, like I know that you had said that.
Yeah. Wait, so
Let's
true.
get them back to him.
He said that he's not close enough with his stepdaughter to ask about this. I think that's a great option.
Yeah, or maybe like if you see them and you're having dinner or something,
yeah,
bring it up and be like, oh, I think you had said that you had his shirts, right?
Yes.
Or before you're going, say, why don't you bring his shirts? Because I know that you had said that he forgot them.
That is
and we'll
such
get
a
you
good idea.
we'll get you some new pajama shirts.
That is
We'll
such a good
stop on the
idea.
way. We'll go to the Boscovs. We'll go to the Bonton. Where do you go for your pajama shirts. I don't know.
Yes.
Walmart.
This is such a great plan. I also feel like if he wanted to be like a little bit petty and a little bit toxic, he could invite them over for dinner and tell his wife like, oh, we haven't seen daughter in a while. Like, let's invite her and the boyfriend over maybe next weekend or the weekend after. And then the wife will be like, oh, yeah, sure. Say nothing about the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
And then don't bring it up. Don't talk to her about them until the daughter's at the house. And then while you're sitting at the dinner table, be like, oh, Tommy, before I forget, let me grab those shirts for you. Bring them back to the dinner table. And if he says, those aren't mine, you have your answer. Your wife is going to have to explain. And then if they are his shirts, he will take them out of the house and you can have a conversation with your wife about why she felt inclined to wear them to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or hide the shirts. Maybe take them and hide them. See if she says anything about it.
Or see if a new one appears.
Look for a reaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
See if a new one appears. Take a timeline of like the last time that they had visited.
Yeah.
So then you know where the shirt's really coming from.
Keep a journal of every time a new shirt appears.
Yeah. We gotta get a little detective. And what did you do that
weekend?
Yeah. Yeah.
What did your wife do that weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Start writing it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bizarre.
That is. And hard to think about being like in your 40s in a marriage like that and then this kind of coming up. That would be hard to deal with.
Yeah. But also, I'll give the benefit of the doubt to the wife for a second. Maybe she is just like missing something.
Maybe
like,
she's a little weird.
Yeah. Like maybe she just saw the shirt and she's like, you know what? That looks comfy. I'm going to wear it. And then the dad's like, where did you get that? And then she's like, oh, what's his face left it and I'm just going to wear it. Like maybe she doesn't even think that it's weird, even though I think it's weird.
Yeah, and if they're like some like old t-shirts that he's probably not going to wear again.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, oh, whatever, I'll wear it.
Yeah. TBH, I did go away on a ski trip last weekend and in the Airbnb, there was a really comfy t-shirt that I guess the last person left and it was under the bed. So I'm guessing the cleaning crew didn't want it. And me and my friends took it. We were like, that looks comfy. It's going to be one of ours now. And I currently have it, I think. So
maybe you're weird.
Yeah, maybe. I definitely am. Would I be wearing someone else's boyfriend's clothing to bed for no reason? Like when I had another option?
Not just someone else's.
My daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
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 You know?
I wonder too if OP has some other concerns in general that this is just another thing that kind of tipped him off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting. There's no more. I would love a follow up on this one.
Somebody did say, I've been known to buy men's XL shirts secondhand to wear them for lounging, sleeping, and to the gym. It's weird though if you know the person. If someone I know leaves something at my house, I put it aside until they come back to the house so I can give it to them. I don't use it. And someone said this, my mother-in-law wouldn't suddenly wear my sweatshirts or shirts that I innocently left at her house. That's inappropriate AF. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. Maybe
we should start commenting our questions for these people. Start getting them there.
Oh my God. I'm going to comment on this. I never comment on Reddit. Okay, here I go. What should I say?
Oh, no. Now I'm on the spot. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Is this not going to let me comment?
Oh, is the post closed, right?
It might be.
You close the post eventually?
I think it might be closed.
Oh, darn. Well, next time.
I'm still learning how to use Reddit. Okay.
I don't know how to use it.
Maybe I'll comment on the next one. I think it's weird, and I think the husband needs to call her out in front of him or like get rid of the shirts and see if new ones appear.
Yeah, try a couple things out.
Yeah.
Dive a little deeper.
I think first confirm that they are your stepdaughter's boyfriends. And then if they are, maybe ask your wife why she felt so inclined to wear them. Talk to her, see what happens. If they're not the boyfriends, that means there's an outsider and you got to take a completely different approach.
Yeah. And I mean, why not just say, hey, why would you want to wear your daughter's boyfriend shirts? Like, don't you think that's a little weird?
Yeah.
I don't think that's wrong to ask someone that.
Totally.
Or say, like, is this something that you need? Do you want me to go and get you a couple more shirts?
Exactly. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Just ask.
Weird. Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to ask about that.
No.
Especially if it's bothering you. Ask.
I would straight up, if that was my partner, be like, why are you wearing his clothing? Like, that's so bizarre.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. And it's not even like accusatory. You're just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
And it sounds like it's out of character for this person.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Dive deeper.
I'm going to see if there's an update. I don't think there is. I'll look for one in the coming weeks. See what happens.
All right. We'll keep our eye on that one.
Yeah. My dad, 38 male, is marrying my 24 female ex-girlfriend, 26 female. This is all such a mess, and I really don't know how I'm supposed to feel about it. For some background, my dad isn't my biological father. He and my egg donor started dating when I was 2 and got married when I was 4, and then got divorced when I was 16. Honestly, I was far closer to my dad than I was with my egg donor, and my egg donor would regularly abuse both of us. After the divorce, he tried to stay in touch with me, but my egg donor purposely isolated him from me because she was so mad that he finally became confident enough in himself to escape from her abuse. She was able to get a protective order placed on both of us to completely limit contact after the divorce, and then financially blackmailed me to continue to isolate me from him while she paid for my college. As soon as I graduated from college when I was 21, I completely cut off contact with her and reached out to him again. Even though it had been over 5 years since we last spoke at that point, I was very happy to have him in my life again. My ex-girlfriend and I dated while I was in college. I was pretty low-key about the relationship because I was pretty sure if my mom ever found out I was lesbian, she would cut me off completely. We started dating when I was 18 and dated for almost 3 years. I also never told my dad about her since we broke up only a few months after we reconnected. He did comfort me through the breakup, but he never met her or really knew anything about her. That brings us to last night. My dad and I have a standing dinner date every other Wednesday, but we've both been busy for the last month, so I haven't seen him since before Thanksgiving. He told me that he would be bringing his girlfriend to tag along, and I have to admit that I was both sad because it wouldn't just be us like it normally is, but also excited to finally meet her. Unfortunately, once I reached the restaurant, I'm absolutely floored to see my dad sitting there with my ex-girlfriend. I'm absolutely shocked to see them together, and when my dad introduces her to me, he introduces her as his fiance and tells me that he wanted me to be the first to know. Apparently, they got engaged 2 weeks ago, but hadn't told anyone except for her parents, who I've even met before. I must have had a shocked look on my face because he starts going into this whole thing about how he knows I might be uncomfortable with him dating a girl who's so close to me in age, and how the gap concerned him too, especially because of my egg donor. Well, I would never compare him to her since she was literally a groomer who started dating her tutoring student when he was 17 and then married him when he was 19. So that's what her mom did, or her egg donor.
Oh, okay. I thought this was talking about the girlfriend.
I think she was saying that about her mom/egg donor, and she's like, I would never compare my dad to her because she sucks way too much to be compared.
Gotcha.
The entire time I was talking to him, though, I was staring right at my ex-girlfriend in complete shock. It ended up being way too weird for me, so I just told them that I needed to go after 5 minutes. My dad texted me again today, telling me how he was so sorry to ambush me with all that information and that he was sorry that it came off the way it had. He told me again that he understood if the age gap made me uncomfortable, but he hoped I didn't think he was some kind of creep for dating a woman so much younger than him. He then told me that he felt he was truly happy for the first time in the last 20 years, and he hoped that I could come to accept this, even though it took me a long time. I, on the other hand, am just completely lost. I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that we dated, and I really don't know whether or not I should tell him. I don't have anyone to go to about this, since he's literally the person I would vent to normally, so I just decided to let it out here.
That's weird.
That's very weird. I think she needs to tell him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
I think honesty is the best policy. And obviously everyone has different relationships with their ex. So hopefully seeing this ex of yours didn't send you into an emotional spiral, because I feel like sometimes when people see their exes, that could happen. But I also feel like, yes, inherently it is weird. It is weird that your dad happened to meet a girl and she happened to have dated you in the past. Like, yeah, that's weird. But I honestly feel like weirder things happen every day.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what the status of the relationship between her and her ex-girlfriend was, how the breakup was. Do they still talk? Was it a bad breakup?
Right.
Is there ill feelings? Because that's even more of a reason to me that I would want to say something to my dad, you know?
Yeah.
Because who knows what the motive is of the ex-girlfriend. If it's like a crazy ex-girlfriend that's trying to get back at her and is like, oh, I'm fucking your dad and I'm getting engaged to your dad, then you better tell your dad.
Very true.
But it doesn't seem like OP is that concerned about that part of it, at least.
Yeah, I feel like if they had a terrible breakup where the ex-girlfriend was like that, wouldn't she have included that?
Right. Yeah, I would think so. And you
Yeah.
can't fault the dad, really. I mean, yeah, the age gap thing is there.
Yeah.
But it sounds like he's truly clueless. He doesn't
Right.
know that there's any type of history between his daughter and
Yeah.
his now fiance.
I want to know if the ex-girlfriend was shocked when OP walked in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Did ex-girlfriend do this on purpose?
But also, if you're getting engaged to a girl, to anyone, wouldn't you be like, oh, I have kids and here's a picture of my daughter? Like, wouldn't you get to know someone at least a little bit more than that? Like, and you have just no idea what their kids look like?
Right, that, and I mean, social media now, we always talk about that. Everyone posts pictures of everything.
Yeah.
And also, if I'm getting engaged to someone, then my family is going to like them. So, like, before I even think about getting engaged, my family will know them well, you know? I mean, I
Right.
guess not everyone operates that way, and I guess that they had kind of a contentious relationship
Yeah.
due to the egg donor issue, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like it is weird, but because there's all these unknowns. But I feel like it's not that weird that two people that lived in the same area met and started dating and they happen to have a different connection. Yes, it's weird that it's the guy's daughter and the girl's ex-girlfriend. Like, yeah, that's weird. But I don't know. I feel like there's so many different types of relationships that is that really that weird that someone you dated is now dating somebody else in your family? Like, yes, it's definitely going to take a lot of getting used to, but I don't think it's life ruining.
No, and if it's not known, again, it sounds like it wasn't known.
Right. Yeah.
At least on his behalf.
Yeah. I think
So.
it gets more complicated and it gets more weird if one of them were to know. And like if the girlfriend knew or found out that her new boyfriend is the dad of her ex-girlfriend, like, and she didn't say anything, that's weird. Because then I feel like something is going on with the girlfriend. Like,
Yeah.
I hope that the first time the new girlfriend saw her boyfriend's daughter, I hope it was in that restaurant. Because that just seems like the easiest scenario to work through.
Yes,
And there wasn't
100%.
this like information that she knew and didn't tell anyone.
I know, and I'm wondering if she is going to say something to him anyways.
Right.
Like the fiance now.
I think if that was me, if I was dating somebody and their daughter or son, whatever, walked in and that was my ex, or if I had any connection to them and they walked out 5 minutes later, I would be like, I'm so sorry, I have to tell you something. And it's not going to be easy to hear.
Yeah.
That's my ex. And if you're in a healthy relationship, I feel like you should be able to tell your partner that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were a few edits.
Okay.
Just clarifying again that my dad is not my biological father. So, OP's dad, not a biological dad. I don't know if that really makes a difference.
I need a visual support.
Like,
I need a family tree.
we should draw one. Should we? I wish I had a whiteboard or something. I don't know if her dad not being a biological dad is relevant,
No,
but I guess
matter.
it is to her.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess it's not as weird, technically.
Okay.
Because if
yeah.
they're not biologically related and now it's like a sexual partner of your biological father
Okay.
that
yeah.
you were involved with sexually, that
Yeah.
could be a little more weird. So
Yeah.
maybe,
Okay. Maybe it is relevant. Okay. Further. I'm going to text my ex-girlfriend. I know most of you think she already knew or that she targeted him or something, but I just don't believe that. For one, my dad and I don't have the same name, and like I mentioned in a comment, we look nothing alike since he is Asian and I am white. I also never told my ex that he was not my biological father or told her his name. Do people do that? I don't think I've ever even said my dad's name when referring to him. That's so weird to me. I've always just called him my dad. The only thing I told my ex about the past was that my egg donor forced my dad away from me, and I didn't really talk about it besides that because it hurt too much. I did tell her when my dad and I started reconnecting, but our relationship was pretty much ending at that point. Like I said, there wasn't really any animosity or anything. We just sort of fell out of love with each other. She initiated the breakup, but after talking it through, it was completely mutual. Anyway, since I don't know whether or not she knew, and I had no reason to believe that she was going out of her way to date my dad, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and tell her her that she needs to tell him, and that if she doesn't, I will. So it seems like they had a pretty amicable breakup. There was no real relationship problems other than they just weren't meant to be. And further, the evidence, I think, is in the ex-girlfriend's favor because she didn't know the guy's name, didn't know what he looked like. To her, this is a random man.
Yeah, that's a very good clarifying comment on OP's part, because that kind of everything that we talked about before this now
totally
makes a little more sense.
Totally. There was one more little update that OP left, but sometimes when I hear about these relationships, I'm like, didn't you guys talk about that? Like, I get what she's saying, where she's like, I never told my girlfriend my dad's name. I would just refer to him as my dad. And I'm like, okay, that totally makes sense. When I am dating someone, that's like one of the first things I ask them, though. Like, I just ask them, oh, what are your siblings' names? What are your parents' names? I don't think that, I almost think it's weirder to not know that. To date someone for that long and not know what their parents' first names are. But I guess they had this interesting relationship where they didn't really talk. So maybe, therefore, they talked about her dad way less and it just didn't come up.
True.
Okay. There's all sorts of different relationships. I'm keeping an open mind.
Yeah. Open mind.
Last little update. Also, some of you asked why I haven't told him already and why I said nothing at dinner. I want all of you to understand how important my dad is to me. I had to lose him for so long, so I do treat our relationship with some extra care sometimes. I also feel extremely guilty about what happened to him, and I can't help but feel like it's partially my fault that he lost so much of his life. I'm almost certain that that's part of the reason why he even stayed with my egg donor for so long was because of me. He was going through physical and emotional abuse on a daily basis, and a significant portion of it was to protect me from her as well. I'm pretty sure if he didn't love me as much as he did, and if he wasn't so scared how much worse my egg donor would treat me without him around to protect me, he would have left much sooner. I feel terrible about the idea of him being finally happy and me ruining it by telling him the truth. Wow, she seems like such a good person.
Yeah, I feel bad. I hope that she's talking to other people about this, because that's really tough.
I feel like, though, it's not gonna ruin his life to know that you had a connection with this seemingly random girl in the past. Like, just because you tell him the truth doesn't necessarily mean that his relationship will end. Yes, maybe he will think it's weird. Maybe he will be more uncomfortable for a few days, weeks, months. But if this is the person that's genuinely meant for him, crazy things happen. Like, it's okay that you had a connection with her in the past. Like, I almost think it's comparable to when you date someone and then someone else you know starts dating them. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit weird at first. The idea of like knowing someone so closely, or I don't know, there's some people that have like dated brothers. Like, that must be so freaking weird. But at the same time, everyone's on these like crazy life paths where weird shit happens. And if you're meant to be with the person that you're with because the universe like made that your life path, like, I don't know. I don't think that all these random things in your past are necessarily as weird as people think they are.
Right. I also feel like for OP, she has two options, right? It's say something. It could go one of two ways. It could be, okay, or it could be, I am choosing to not have this relationship anymore.
Right.
Would dad be sad? Or she called him dad, right? Would dad be sad? Maybe, right? Probably not great about it, but it's something that you have to say. Or you could just not say anything at all, stay silent, and then this person's going to be in your life. It sounds like you really value your relationship with your father right now. And how would you do that then, right? Like, I feel like you have no other choice. You have to say something.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be a real weird frickin' Thanksgiving and a real weird Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever be it.
Yeah.
You got to say something, you know?
Yeah. It's almost like one of those things where when step parents, where like if two people get married later in life and then their kids like start dating, like Serena and Dan and Rufus and Lily and Gossip Girl. And it's like surface level. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh, it's your stepbrother and now you're dating. Or like it's your stepmom dating your boyfriend's dad or like whatever. But you're not related to that person. Like, yeah, you had a connection with them, but like, it's not like you were raised as siblings. Like, the dad doesn't see this girl as your ex-girlfriend.
Right.
He has no concept of that relationship. So just telling him the truth and being like, oh, you know what? I knew her from my past and this might be a little weird, but we actually dated for a while and it's long gone. It's over. Like, we don't have feelings for each other, but I feel like you need to know that. And I'm so glad you're happy. Like, yeah, it might be weird at first, but he doesn't have the concept of her that you have.
Right.
Like, he sees her completely differently than you see her. To you right now, it's so weird. But the concept that he has of her is that this is a normal random girl that he met and fell in love with and now wants to marry. And I think that that feeling is so strong that, oh, my daughter dated this girl for a little bit years and years and years ago, and now they never talk. Like, that might affect him not as badly as it's affecting you. So I just don't think that you telling him is automatically going to end their relationship.
No, but I think it needs to be said.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I hope I made sense with that.
No, you made sense.
Okay, I did. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Jimmy and I were talking about this. Sometimes when I edit the podcast, I listen to myself talk and I'm like, okay, I get what you were trying to say, but you needed 2 more clarifying sentences. But I'll just be like, do you know what I mean? And then we'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, does everyone listening know what I mean though?
No, I know what you mean.
So yes, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a better speaker, but hopefully I made sense.
And hopefully I didn't say like a million times.
No, you didn't. You're doing great. I feel like honesty, always the best policy though.
Always, yeah.
Always.
Tell him.
Oh my God, there's an update. An actual update. Oh. Wait, this update is crazy.
Update alert.
It's really long. My dad and Steph, my ex, are no longer together. My dad and I are fine, and I'm looking forward to putting all this behind us. I would like to remind everyone that my dad is technically my stepdad, but he's the only father figure I've ever had, and I've always just called him my dad. Apparently, OP texted Steph, and they talked on the phone. Steph was just as shocked to see OP walk into the restaurant. She was reeling and planning on telling him soon, but she didn't know how to do it. At the end of the call with Steph, she told me that she was going to talk to him that night. I agreed and stayed by my phone, but I never got a call from my dad, which I thought was weird. I called Steph in the morning and asked her if she'd talked to him. She said she had and that he just needed some space right now. She said it would be best if I didn't talk to him about it. That seems kind of shady.
You're not going to tell me not to talk to my dad?
Yeah. I thought that was really weird, so I decided to text my dad anyway. I asked him if Steph had talked to him, and he said that they had. I asked if he wanted to talk about it, and he said he would prefer not to, and that he thought it would be best if we just took a step back from our relationship. He said he was really dealing with a lot and this was all extremely hard for him. Okay. I have to say I was pretty heartbroken when he said that, and it really got me thinking. A lot of you asked if I'd be okay with my dad marrying Steph, and honestly, I really wouldn't be. I don't like the idea of him dating anyone just because of how easily he's manipulated. I knew he had been in a relationship, but I'd always told him that I didn't really want to hear about it, and that all that mattered was that he was happy. So he never really talked about his romantic life. However, I realized that even if I wasn't happy about it, and even if I seriously hated it, I wouldn't want to risk losing my dad over it. He mattered to me way more. So I decided I'd give him a day, and then I went over to his place on Sunday. He looked pretty uncomfortable when he saw me, but I wasn't taking no for an answer, so he let me in. We sat in silence for a few moments before I basically told him that we needed to talk about this. He was pretty quiet, and he was pretty much sitting as far as he could away from me. So I told him that I didn't really want my previous relationship with Steph to change my relationship with him, and that I was okay with them getting married. He looked kind of confused. Sorry, this is crazy.
Yeah.
He looked kind of confused, and what being friends with Steph had anything to do with it. It was my turn to be confused, so I asked him if Steph talked to him again. He said she had, and he didn't really know how to deal with the information. It really seemed like he was tiptoeing around the subject, and he wouldn't even look me in the eyes. So I finally just asked him what Steph had said. She told him that I was in love with him. That's right. This crazy manipulative word I can't use really told him that I had admitted my sexual attraction for him years ago. Oh my
Okay, now this
God.
Is really weird.
This is insane.
What?
Holy shit.
I knew there was something up with that girl.
I'm over here being like, it's not that weird. This bitch is crazy.
Poor dad.
Oh my God. Ew, I hate her. Okay.
Yeah.
Apparently her story was that we were friends, not girlfriends, just friends when I was in college, and that we'd gotten really close, and I told her my secret. I was pretty appalled to learn that she had said that, but I told her about how the woman who gave birth to me had claimed that my dad and I had an illicit and inappropriate relationship to get protective order. She knew that, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
That's deep.
Dude, this all just like came full circle.
Yeah.
That's why she set the scene so much with the sperm donor with the egg donor / mom being so crazy.
Yeah.
Holy
That's
shit.
really fucked up of this girl.
Yes, just getting so much worse. Okay. She knew that it would be a sensitive topic for my dad and apparently encouraged him to take some space away from me. At that point, I was enraged. I couldn't believe she would really do something like that. After that, I told him the truth. I told him about how Steph and I had dated years ago and how I was pretty sure she made all of that up so that I wouldn't tell him. He believed me pretty quickly, especially when I showed him a picture of the present she gave me for our first anniversary. My dad didn't really say anything besides just apologizing to me over and over again, telling me how sorry he was for believing her. I told him it was okay and we just hugged it out. After that, he called Steph and asked her to come over. I've honestly never seen him like that. He's normally such a happy guy, but the look on his face was terrifying. Steph did end up coming and it looked like she knew what was going to happen because she was just staring at the floor. I won't lie, when I saw her, I really just wanted to rip her hair out of her head.
Yeah.
But sitting beside my dad really helped keep me calm. Oh my God.
Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah. The update is very long, but basically the dad told Steph that he knew the truth. Steph apologized, saying that she hoped it wasn't too late and she didn't want to lose him. Oh my God. Apparently, she was the one who convinced him that I'd be really against it because of the age gap. Wow, Steph is a manipulative, crazy liar.
Yeah.
Shit.
And poor dad.
Yeah.
Sign him up for Plenty of Fish or something. Get that guy someone nice.
He needs a good person, someone we can trust.
He does sound like he could be easily manipulated. And I mean, he has past history of that. And, you know, I wish that he would have his guard up a little bit more, knowing, like, you know, he's already been full on played once.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Oh my God.
I'd get him a Tinder Plus account. Something.
Facts.
Damn. Fricked. I can't believe this.
This is shocking.
That's a wild update. See, we love an update. OPs, all of yous.
Yeah.
Write the updates.
Please.
Please. I lose sleep over these stories sometimes. Oh, but maybe a little more concise. This one could write.
Yes. Basically, they broke up. They didn't get back together. The dad and OP were obviously shaken up, but they decided to just get some takeout and watch their favorite movies together. So cute. So that's that. Steph is officially out of my dad's life, and I've convinced him to change the lock so she doesn't try coming here again. I've also tried convincing him to get a protective order against her, but he isn't willing to do that just yet. In the meantime, I'm going to stay with him at least until he gets the locks changed. I told him I'd like to move in with him when my lease ends in March, and he told me he'd think about it. Right now, I just want to be around my dad. And that was the last update.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's a wild.
That's insane.
Revelation. I don't know about that one. That ex-girl is now twice ex-girl is cuckoo bananas.
Yeah.
Stay away and tell everyone you know about her. I would tell everyone in that city, in that town.
True.
Let them all know, because that is wild.
Fricked.
Yeah, wild.
I'm kind of shook after that one.
Me too.
Damn.
Yeesh.
All right, let's keep going. We're not going to lighten the mood anytime soon. I, 27 male, found risque photos of my wife, 26 female, on my friend, 27 male's phone. First of all, we've been married for almost 3 years now, and this friend of mine is also a mutual friend. We've known each other since college for many years, and I consider him to be pretty close to my wife and I. Basically, a few days ago, we were hanging out, friend, myself, and a few other friends, and I incidentally saw his gallery on his phone while I was using it, changing songs on Spotify on his phone, and incidentally saw his other apps running while switching apps. And immediately, there were at least 10 to 20 pics in his gallery of what seemed to be risque selfies of my wife in lingerie, no full nudes, and they look like they were taken in our bathroom. I, of course, have no knowledge of this kind of pic, and I immediately took my friend outside, not in front of our other friends, and called him out on what I just saw on his phone. And I was also about to call my wife out about it, but he stopped me and said it was all him and that he stole it off of her phone and she had nothing to do with it. At the heat of the moment, he kept apologizing, but I don't think I took in much of the explanation, and the night obviously ended sour. I didn't say anything else to him or any of our friends, but I went home immediately and told my wife, who was also appalled and shocked about it all. Now I don't know what to do, and I feel like I'm still in a bit of shock on what's going to happen since it's been a few days and I haven't talked to my friend, who has been texting me, but I just told him I'll talk to him when I'm ready. If I recall right, he tried to explain he saw the photos by accident while trying to fix something on her phone, and he couldn't resist and saved them, but then he forgot about it or something like that. The thing is, we've known each other for a while, and honestly, I don't know where to go with this friendship. He's also my wife's friend, and her opinion is to just forget it ever happened and move on. But in my mind, I don't know if I should even try to hear his explanation again and what to do going forward. I do feel like I'm not even thinking straight right now. So I'm hoping that Reddit can help give some advice on what to do. What are my next steps?
Weird.
Whew. Okay. Do you think he trusts the wife? Like, does he believe her?
I don't know. I mean, I would definitely question, like, maybe she's taking those photos to make herself, like, for herself, you know? But my thought immediately went to who were these photos being taken for? You know, if she's taking them for someone else, maybe she's just taking them for herself.
And he has no knowledge of them? I mean, of course, that's possible.
Friend, no friend, friend of her, friend of mine. That's not a friend. He would be gone from my life. That would be like a hard cut. Yes. Like, to me, that's creepy.
100%.
In a total personal invasion of private space, if that is, in personal space, in photographs that are personal to you. Yeah. So that's not a friend.
No.
If that's how it actually went down, that's not a friend. And for her to not feel like she's violated kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Yes, totally. I feel like, I would cut off the friend regardless. But if you really want to get to the truth, I feel like he could confront them again, each of them, and maybe be like, look, my wife told me the truth. And that, like, kind of leave it at that and be like, I need you to tell me the truth now and see what he says. Because then maybe they would change the story. Because if the wife and the friend were actually having some sort of affair or relationship, they probably both agreed, oh, we're never going to tell him. But if your friend came to you and was like, my wife told me the truth, like, now it's your turn, the friend might be like, oh, well, what did she say? And OP could be like, it doesn't matter. She told me the truth, though, and I need to hear it from you. Like, don't tell either of them what the other person said. And you could do the same thing to your wife. You could go to your wife and be like, he told me the truth. I talked to him again. I need to hear it from you.
Yeah. I give OP credit because if that were me, I would have punched him right in the face.
Oh, hell yeah. I also give him credit for not pretending like it wasn't a problem. Like, as soon as he was confronted with the problem, he didn't freak out. He didn't blow up in front of everyone. He grabbed the friend, took him into a different room or outside and confronted him privately. And yeah, I'm sure he was raging inside and couldn't think straight. But the fact that he didn't get violent, I feel like shows that he kept his composure or he didn't start screaming or like anything like that. I feel like that shows that he kept his composure.
Right.
So mature.
And I think he is. I was going to say he sounds very mature.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's probably very in love with his wife because he did not speak ill or badly of her at all throughout the entire post. There's some questions and I'd put them both on the spot, like really put them on the spot.
I'm gonna see if there's any other information.
And either way, that friend would be out of my life.
Yes,
Full
so
blown.
true.
And possibly my wife.
Yes.
Probably.
The top comment, ask them independently what was wrong with the phone and how it was fixed, where they were, what month it was, why she didn't ask you. That's a great idea too, because if he's claiming that he was fixing something on the wife's phone.
Yeah, that's a great.
If they are able to corroborate a story, that's better. They will have difficulty fabricating the same story. If they can't come up with the same story, they are both lying to you. Facts. So true.
Wow. That commenter, smart.
Yes. So true.
We're like, put him on the spot. Where'd the pictures come from?
I know.
And
yeah. I'm like, tell me your story again.
Yeah.
Yes. Use the story that they gave you. They're like, oh, I was fixing something on her phone. It's like, okay, yeah. When, where, what was it? Why didn't she ask me to do it?
Yeah.
All of those things would definitely give you some more information.
Does he work for the Genius Bar or something? Like,
yeah.
Interesting. They sound like they might be a little too close.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's see. Let's say that's true. Was the wife... Okay, no. I don't want to, like, blame the wife for doing something she wanted to do, but who are the photos for?
That was my question. Yeah, and same. I don't want to blame her. If they were for her, or maybe she was working on something for him even, you know, like maybe making a calendar, or I don't know. I've heard of couples doing that.
Yeah.
Kim K made a book of nudes for Kanye, I'm pretty sure, right?
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
a lot of people do that, like, for their wedding and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
No, I think that's fine, but yeah, that's one of my main questions.
Yeah.
Definitely. But not blaming her, but...
Yeah, because I guess, like, you can just take photos for yourself, and then you don't have to show them to your boyfriend or your husband. But I feel like all of these clues together would make me a little more suspicious. But also, if they have a trusting relationship and they're both in love and they respect each other and they can talk honestly, which I feel is very important in relationships, I feel like he should be able to say that to her and be like, look, you guys both told me your story. It lines up, like, I get it. But I just have to tell you how I feel. Like, this is freaking me out. Like, the fact that you're taking these just for yourself and then all of a sudden they're on his phone, like, it's just messing with my mind. Like, I trust you. I never had any reason not to, but I'm feeling weird about this or something like that, so that they can come to some sort of solution, or she can give him more evidence or whatever. But, ooh, it's weird.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
real
about
weird.
that.
I want an update on all of these.
Yeah, me too. There's none for that one either.
I don't think so.
Mm.
Damn, I'm sad. I'm going to keep looking for updates for all of these.
Either way, don't trust that friend. He's gone.
No, the friend
That's
is
it.
gone. The wife is the next one on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Here's another phone story. Should we do something on a similar wavelength?
Yeah.
Okay. 30 female, 31 male. Not sure what to do with my marriage or my husband. I am completely blindsided and just wanted people's advice, as I don't have anyone to tell this to because my husband and I share the same friend circle. We have a 1-year-old child together and have been married for 2 years. It has been a fairy tale to me, and I thought things were going great up until recently. We have a party for our child. When he was born, we moved into my mom's home and lived there with my mom, my sister, her boyfriend. It's a very spacious house, so we could go days without interacting with each other, as we all have our own bathrooms, etc. So fast forward to said party with family over. He started drinking, which he usually doesn't do at all, and ended up drinking 5 beers back to back on an empty stomach. He was very talkative and friendly to everyone. Our child ended up throwing up after eating cake, so I grabbed him with my sisters to help wash him up. I was cleaning him. My sister left the bathroom and forgot her phone in my room. My husband was sitting in the room messing with his PC. Later on that night, my sister couldn't find her phone, and my husband told her it's in the kitchen. My sister grabbed her phone and went on with her business. A week later, she comes up to me in distress, crying, and shows me that while she wasn't on her phone, as we have a timestamp from the video I took of my child throwing up and her basically being with me at the time we were bathing him, that her phone somehow that same time sent explicit photos of her and videos of her boyfriend, X-rated, to my husband's phone. As soon as she told me, I was completely blindsided, as I never got any type of feeling that my husband would ever do such a thing. So instead of accusing, I outright asked him if he ever received those photos and videos. To his reply was that he thought my sister sent it to him on accident, so he immediately thought to delete it because he felt awkward. My sister probed and started asking more questions, in which he began to get angry and yell, and pretty much told him that his only mistake was not even telling me about it. We decided to drop it, but that night my sister and I, still trying to piece together what could have happened. He knows her passcode, the thread of messages that they had were all erased, and the only thing in that conversation were those attachments that she only found because her watch kept saying storage full. So the messages were deleted from her phone but backed up onto her watch. As she started to piece things together, all signs point to my husband going through her phone and sending himself those attachments. The next day, my husband sends us a group text from work saying that he contacted someone to look on the dark web to see how her phone would have glitched like that, and said her phone was cloned and that someone somewhere else hacked her phone and sent her photos only to him. Okay, he's trying real hard.
He's caught.
Which made no sense, because why didn't they send it to her other contacts? He proceeded to say that he went out of his way to find the hacker. The hacker demanded that payment for this information was to cut off his finger by the time he is 45. We are early 30s. Wait, what is going on here?
I don't know.
Okay. After we read that message, my sister and I were really scared and freaked out. I asked him to just give me space to process everything. His grandparents don't live far, so I asked him to stay there while I gather my thoughts and care for our child with a healthy mind. I told him that I didn't believe his story, as he had no proof of the conversation he had with the dark web people. And he went on to say, fine, I'll just say I did it so we can all move on.
He did it.
I politely asked him to leave and give me space, in which he decided to shave his face, pack up all his belongings, and then start throwing away all of his possessions, which was very odd to me because I'm so sorry. Which was very odd to me because I just wanted a few days alone. Why is he going to this extent and throwing away all of his valuable possessions? He ended up leaving, sleeping in his car, and telling me he didn't want to involve anyone and that I need to allow him back because I threw him out. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, and I don't know what to do with this marriage. I care for my child so much and never thought this would ever happen to me. I don't know what to believe. I thought I married my best friend. Okay, this is very, very sad, but this man's is crazy, and he's spiraling. Mm-hmm. He's spiraling right now.
Yeah, he's totally caught.
He's so caught.
He's caught. It was a horrible decision. It's a weird decision. Yes. I don't know why he would do that.
No.
He sounds like he needs some help, maybe. Yeah. Nope.
I think he obviously got caught, and then he was like, shit, I need an even crazier story to cover up for this because I need to distract them or get them to believe something crazier happened.
So his mind immediately went to, I found out who it is, but I could only tell you if you cut my finger off by the time I'm 45. I think that says enough.
Wow. Okay. I'm so sorry to tell you this. I think he needs to go. He needs to leave. You need to be done. I don't think I'd ever trust someone again that sent themselves pictures of my sister and her boyfriend doing whatever the hell and then lie about it, try to trick us all even further by making up some lie. And then when I confront him about it and I said, look, babe, love you so much, but I just need some space. Then they start spiraling even further, shave off their face, throw all of their possessions into the trash. This man's is going through it, but he brought it on himself. So,
and he said, let's just forget about it.
Yeah.
Like, I did it. Okay.
No, he didn't say I did it. He said, let's just say that I did it so we can all move on.
Right.
Not let's just say that you did it.
No.
You did it.
If I was accused of that, I would never be like, let's just say I did it so that we're fine.
Yeah.
I would never admit to that if I were accused of that and I didn't do it.
We're not just saying that he did it.
No.
We're all coming to terms with the fact that he did do it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like doing a plea bargain here.
Right. And at the end of the day, again, underlying issue, it's a total lack of respect.
Yes.
And invasion of full-on privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who you're married to.
Right.
And he doesn't have this respect.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah.
And also, if it was pictures, like, let's say it's your husband and it's pictures of some random girl, like some random porn or something, that's not really that weird.
No.
But the fact that it's your sister and he seeked out those photos and videos on her phone while she was in a different room.
Helping clean up your kid that threw up from the birthday cake.
Yeah, your sister's helping you with the baby while your husband's fiddling around on his computer
on
and
his PC.
Sending nudes to his own phone.
And scrolling the dark web.
Well, no,
what
I don't
even
think
is the dark web?
I think that's a lie. He claimed that he was scrolling the dark web. This man does not know how to access the dark web.
He needs to say stop the internet.
Yeah.
If the dark web is telling you to cut off your finger by the time you're 45, stop the internet. Stop it. Close the PC.
He needs to just meditate. He needs to go somewhere quiet and come to terms with what he did. Because there's no more lie that's going to get him out of it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully she will bounce. I don't know.
There was a small update.
Oh.
He texted me last night and we haven't talked for 2 days. I decided to go tell his grandparents a little bit of what was happening so that they can call him and get him to stay there. The text he sent me was admitting the guilt. He went into detail about how he shaved his face because he was disgusted with himself and that he had a moment of weakness, and he threw all his things away because he knew my family doesn't want him back, and that all of this was built up from me not being warm and affectionate to him. Gaslighting, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He's blaming you. Okay.
Wow.
From me still co-sleeping with our child. That's what, so he's saying you weren't being warm and affectionate to me because you've been co-sleeping with our child.
This guy seems like a horrible person.
The lack of love, attention, and feeling neglected. And that was the one mistake he made.
I don't feel affection from you. So instead, I'm going to watch your sister and her partner have sex. What? No. None of it's right. No.
Goodbye.
He's grasping for any straw he could get right now.
He needs to go.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you're going through this.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, maybe you are avoiding something even worse down the road, though.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem right.
No. Oh my gosh. It's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, exactly. It's like at least it happened now and not in 10 years and 20. I mean, I don't know. Crazy.
Yeah.
He showed his true colors, though.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Weird.
Not much else to say about that one.
No. Let's just keep laying it on thick. Just found out that my boyfriend of 3.5 years has been calling me by his ex-girlfriend's name. So I, 24 female, met my boyfriend, 25 male, in college, where we pretty much immediately hit it off. We took the same course, and in the first week, he approached me while I was with some friends to compliment my hair. We maintained a strong friendship for about a year before we eventually started dating, and we shared lots of interests. I really liked a very specific subgenre of modern takes on classic literature, like 10 Things I Hate About You, Clueless, etc., with one of my comfort movies being Romeo and Juliet. I know it's dumb, but it's silly and I love it. Love that, Romeo and Juliet.
Cute.
Have you seen it?
No.
Me neither. Anyway, so about 6 months into dating, we're lying in bed after a nice night and he's running his fingers through my hair and says, I love you so much, Juliet. I don't know, we just watched the film together 2 nights ago and maybe I was dumb, but I really just interpreted it as a pet's name. So I said, I love you too, Romeo. It picked up since then. Looking back, I should have known something was up by the way he apologized immediately, but for the next 3 years, I called him Romeo, thinking we had a pair of cute couples nicknames. It was a sweet little thing, and I even noticed my actual name had fizzled out with the use of Juliet, Babe, and Baby taking its place, which I didn't mind at all. Well, 2 days ago, my boyfriend and I went to his brother's wedding and I got to meet his ex while we split off to talk to his brother, being that she was a family friend since his childhood. I introduced myself as if it was the first time, and she did the same and told me that her name was Juliet. I immediately put it together, but I didn't want to stir a scene at the wedding, so I played it off. Don't get me wrong, she was such a sweetie, and we didn't even talk about him once, even though she knew we were dating, which I really appreciated. I confronted him about it later that night when we got home, and he immediately admitted to getting my name mixed up with hers. Our names could not be more different, might I add, on that night, and didn't know what to do when I misunderstood him and just went along with it. We've kissed and he's called me Juliet, made love and he's called me Juliet, gone out and he's called me Juliet. He's called me Juliet in front of my parents, but I'm just now finding out he's been calling me by his ex's name. I feel sick and I'm seriously considering breaking up, considering I felt nothing but embarrassment since the other night. I just needed to get it off my chest. He says it doesn't matter since it's our nicknames now, but the origin of it still sticks in my mind and I don't know what to do about it. This man went down the deepest rabbit hole when all he had to say was, holy shit, I'm so sorry. Why did I just call you Juliet? He could have even...
Yeah, but he did. He said he's sorry the second that it happened.
You know
and then
what?
she
You're
kept
right.
calling him Romeo then.
Wait, you're right. He
could have been like, wait, like this is weird. My ex's name was Juliet.
Yes.
Like it was misinterpreted. I really apologize for that.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think it's right for me to call you Juliet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think the first time he called her Juliet, it wasn't that it was interpreted wrong and then he's like, oh wait, you know what, that is a little weird. It was that he made a mistake and just called her the wrong name.
Yeah.
And then it was just like easier for him to play it off. But I don't know. He should have immediately just cut it off. Like he did not have to keep calling her Juliet and like laying it on that thick.
No, yeah, he should have just said something from the start. And I'll admit, one time I was dating someone and I called them my ex's name.
No way.
Yes.
How long were you dating them?
We had been seeing each other, I think, for like over 4 months, maybe 5 months.
How long were you dating the ex?
2.5 years.
Whew. And how long in between?
A long time.
Okay.
Like...
So you were single for quite a while.
4 years or something like that. 3 or 4 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
A long time, yeah.
So what happened? Were you just tired?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
There's definitely been times where I'm tired and they just call people the wrong name. Thankfully, it's never happened with a romantic situation.
They started with the same letter, so I was like, yeah.
Okay.
But I immediately owned it. I was like, wow, that is like effed up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. And then what did they say?
It was a mistake. He was just like, let's just like act like it didn't happen. I was like, yeah.
Okay.
Let's just act like, because it was just I don't know what it was. My head wasn't like thinking about my ex. It just, the name came out wrong.
No, I feel like that happens all the time. Like the amount of times that my mom will call me my sister's name.
Yeah.
Like it happens. And my mom will call me her sister's names too.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. And I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Like people just, our brains are so deep. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily mean you're thinking about that person.
I do it all the time at school too. The kids like think that I'm like crazy because I always am like, they'll be in the group together. I'll be with them and I'll be like, okay, say like the kid's name is like Tom. Mm-hmm. I don't have any kids named Tom. I'm not breaking any laws, I promise. Say their names are like Tom and
Jerry.
Teddy. Tom and Jerry, yeah. Tom and Jerry, yeah. I'll be like, oh yeah, Tom, and then Thomas over here, and this is Jerry, and then I'm like, oh wait, I meant Jerry, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, hold on.
Which one?
And I'm like, I know who you guys are, you know that, right? And every time they're like, yeah, we know.
Aww.
But I do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm bad with names.
I'm actually very good at names, and I kind of pride myself on that because I love when people remember my name, and I always have an irrational fear that nobody knows my name. Mm-hmm. And I always get names like the first time, and there's this guy that's like a friend of a friend that I've met at least 3 or 4 times at this point, and I saw him on Saturday night. I went up to him and I'm like, it's Shane, right? What's up? And he was like, it's Steve. And I was like, oh shit.
That's close.
I'm so sorry. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's fine. I don't care. Yeah, I felt bad about that one, but okay.
It happens.
Yeah. If someone called me like Karen I would be like, it's Kelee. I don't think I'd be like that mad.
Well, I mean, and I'm not putting Kelee out. Kelee, my roommate, on the spot right now, but she still, like, when she says your name, she says it quietly.
Yeah.
Because because of the way that your name is spelled.
Yeah.
She cannot get through her head that it's Kelee and it's not Kelee.
Yeah.
She's always like, are Aaron and Kelee coming? Like, she literally gets like quiet, and she knows it because she'll like you could see it go over her face, and like we are like
I've known her
pretty
for
good friends.
so long.
Yeah, like we are together a lot.
Yeah,
like,
that's so funny. Yeah,
we're beyond acquaintances at this point.
Yes, the way that my name is spelled is so tricky, and my whole life, most of the time when people say it for the first time, if they learned it from reading, they say Kelee, probably like 70 to 80% of the time. Then like 20 to 30% of the time, they'll get it right. But I don't care. Like, it doesn't annoy me. And I will not even correct people unless it's someone that I'm going to have like a long-term relationship with.
Right.
Like, if it was a teacher on the first day of class in college, I would correct them. But if it's like the dental hygienist calling my name at the dentist, I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
But
like
they
the
call
urgent
me
care
Kelee
or something. Yeah.
Yeah. But there are friends of mine that in like high school and college that were like a friend of a friend, or like we would only see each other in groups and I wasn't close with like that specific person that would call me Kelee. And some people call me Kelee as a joke. But then there are some people that I'm like, I don't think you know my name. Like, I think you actually might think that it's Kelee. But I'm like, I don't care. Like, what am I going to do? Get annoyed that like some random person is like saying my name wrong? If it was my boyfriend and they were maybe if my boyfriend's ex was named Kelee and they're just
Literally.
like, Kelee, I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me?
Wait, you're saying this and I'm sitting here and I'm like, how do we even get on this conversation? Like that, this is how our brains work.
I know.
And this is what we're like imagine us when we're not on the podcast. Like we're out and the two of us are like, squirrel, like like everywhere.
Kelee.
Yeah, like this is.
Oh yeah, we read a story about a girl named Juliet. Yeah.
Juliet, God bless.
I was trying to give the benefit of the doubt to people that accidentally call their girlfriend or boyfriend their ex's name, because it's like, it happens. Like, I feel like if my boyfriend called me his ex's name, it would definitely make me sad in the moment, but I don't think I would like dwell on it. Like, I'd be like, okay.
No, you kind of can't.
Yeah.
After 3 years, though, it's a little weird.
Yeah, of consistency.
Yeah.
I would be like, no, I feel like I would lose trust. Actually, I've been talking to this guy and we were in the car together just listening to music. And I was like, oh, let's listen to John Mayer's album, Born and Raised. Great album. Would highly recommend. And I was just like playing the songs, and one of them is called Something Like Olivia. And I'm just like singing the whole thing. He says Olivia like 40,000 times. And I was like, do you have any exes named Olivia? And he's like, no, why?
Could you
and I'm
imagine?
like, that would be so fucking weird if we were just sitting here like, and I'm just like, something like Olivia. And he's like, my ex's name is Olivia.
That's like that new Fletcher song. Becky's so hot.
Oh,
and
I
her
don't know
vintage.
it.
Oh my God. Fletcher wrote a song about her ex-girlfriend's new girlfriend. And
used the
Used the
name?
name. Her name's Becky. People are referencing the photo, like the photo of Becky in this vintage t-shirt.
Stop.
And literally the chorus is, Becky's so hot in her vintage t-shirt. Swear to God. Yeah.
Do you think that's like she did that on purpose because she knew it would get people talking?
Probably. I mean.
Yeah. Shit.
Crazy.
Even Taylor Swift doesn't really drop names anymore.
No, yeah, she hasn't. Which, did I tell you I went to Taylor Swift trivia on Tuesday of this past week with my friend Sam, just the two of us. There were 20 teams at this bar. It was slam. The guy was like, this is the busiest trivia we've ever had. Do you know that we held on to first place until the final round?
Oh!
Just the two of us. There were teams of like 6, teams of 8. A lot of minds going together. And they made the joke, like, play Mastermind. The team that ended up beating us were like, play Mastermind. And I want to be like, it's not a mastermind. It's Mastermind. There's 6 of you, and there were 2 of us.
Yeah,
so,
what the hell?
But
and
yeah,
then we lost.
We got 3rd place. Yeah, we messed it up because we didn't know the name of her new record label. It's Republic Records.
I didn't know that.
Big Machine, which was her old one, bought her masters, according to this person. I thought a different company bought her masters, but I guess not. And there was one other one that we got wrong. But yeah. Oh, we didn't know the actor who was in the White Horse music video. Do you know who it was? Because I should have known this.
Actor in the White Horse video? Is it a popular person?
He was on an MTV show.
Oh, I don't think I would know that.
Okay, Stephen Kelee.
I don't
he
know
was
who
on
that
like
is.
The Hills or Laguna Beach, something like that. I watched both of them. I can't remember which one he was on.
Okay.
I
wouldn't have.
Those were the only 3 things that we got wrong.
Well, I would have gotten all of those wrong probably.
But the bonus, like the lightning bonus round, it was all of these songs, and it was like, who did she write them about? So like Vigilante Shit was about Scooter Braun.
Yeah.
Like Dear John about John Mayer. Like all these different ones, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Well, proud of you.
Thanks.
We're major Swifties here.
Can't remember how we got on that again now. Because
me neither.
John Mayer,
Oh,
Olivia.
yeah. Yes. Okay. Back to our Reddit stories. OP. The question is, I don't know what to do about it. I guess it's not a question. I think that the boyfriend made a really dumb mistake. And I think that he just kind of dug himself a grave. And then he was like, you know what, though? The grave kind of works. So then he just laid in the grave for 3 years.
3 long years.
And he kept digging it deeper every time he called you freaking Juliet.
He's got to own it.
Yes.
He's just got to own it.
He's got to be like, look, I made a mistake at first, but then it kind of worked. And I kind of liked the Romeo and Juliet. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still in love with his ex. Like, it's not giving that energy. If this is the only, like, it's just fucking weird. And the guy just made a very big mistake. I think it would be justified in you ending it if you feel that you lost trust with him because you're like, what the fuck? That is so weird. You couldn't have told me the truth for 3 years. You eluded the truth. I don't love that. But also, if that's the only problem that you had in the relationship was that this nickname you guys gave each other was also the name of one of his exes, like, I'm really giving the people the benefit of the doubt today.
Yeah, look at us opening our
I'm really
minds.
like looking for the best in people right now.
No more dump his ass.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if you want to dump his ass, YOLO, dump his ass. But I think he might just be a little bit dumb and
yeah, maybe he was like, okay, I messed up. She's doing whatever. Let's just go with it. It's not that big of a deal.
And
maybe to him it wasn't a big deal.
He probably thinks you really like it. Like, he's like, her movie is Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah.
She calls me Romeo. I have to keep freaking calling her Juliet.
The real question is, why wasn't she calling him Nomeo and not Romeo?
I agree. I think it should have been Nomeo all along. I think OP, you're in the wrong.
Yeah. It's all your fault.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it's weird, but like weirder shit has happened. And I feel like if like just think deeply about it for a bit and ask yourself genuinely, do you think you can get past this? If the answer is yes, and you love this man and you can see yourself being with him, if you're compatible in every other way, if you share the same goals and you want to build a life with him and you completely trust him in everything else, and if you can get over this, shit happens in every relationship. So if that's the only thing and you still trust him, I think it's fine. But if you can't get over it, then dump his ass. Either one is justified. Think about yourself, though. Don't listen to what other people say that they would do. Like, I would do this. What would you do? Think deeply about it. That's the advice.
What are you going to do?
I think that if it was my, like, perfect person and that was me, I would just be like, why were you so dumb? Like, hopefully my perfect person wouldn't be that dumb, but
yeah, maybe try not to read too far into it.
Yeah, I think that overall. Okay, let's do one more and then a funny one, and that will be it. Bride attempts to disinvite the best man after finding out he drunkenly admitted to being in love with the groom years ago. I, 27 female, am getting married to my fiance, 28 male, in 2 months. He has a childhood best friend, 28 male, who's going to be his best man. Needless to say, they're very close to each other. Recently, my fiance told me how a couple of years ago, his best friend got drunk and confessed his love to him. My fiance was taken aback because he only ever dated, and I think still dates, women. And according to my fiance, he just ignored his confession afterwards and they never talked about it in order to not make their friendship awkward. To this day, my fiance isn't sure if his best friend even remembers that confession. I obviously got very uneasy hearing this, especially because they never talked it out, so he could very well still be in love with him. I think his best friend is still single at the moment, or not in a serious relationship at least. My fiance said that there's no reason to worry because he never brought up his feelings again, which may have not even been serious to begin with, but considering they've been best friends since middle school, I seriously doubt it. I honestly feared his best man might try to ruin my wedding out of jealousy, so I sent him a private message requesting him to withdraw his position as my fiance's best man and not come to our wedding, if possible, as his presence made me uncomfortable. Well, my fiance found out about it and now he's furious with me. He told me I was incredibly out of line for for trying to disinvite his best man and friend of almost 2 decades behind his back, but I told him that I only did it because I don't want someone who was in love with him and probably still is to be at our wedding and potentially sabotage. We went back and forth on this till I told him that he has to choose between me and his best friend. He told me that I'm incredibly childish and it's too early to be acting like a bridezilla, and then he left to his mother's place, and 2 days later he still hasn't come back or tried to contact me. Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Wow, you are out of line.
Yeah.
Out of line.
Mm-hmm.
This could not have been worse.
Yes, you're out of line. I don't really think that you could constitute who your future husband's best man is, really. I guess you have some type of say in it. There's got to be an underlying issue because it sounds like maybe you're a little bit concerned about the relationship dynamic between your fiance and his soon-to-be best man.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, figure out why you're feeling so alarmed by this. And you're totally out of line. Yeah, going behind your fiance's back to text that to the best man. No, that's not.
Insane. I think... Okay, she is projecting so much of her insecurity onto the best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give the guy some credit. God damn. Yeah, maybe he had a crush on his friend in the past years ago, but just because he used to have feelings, or maybe even if he still does, doesn't mean he's going to sabotage your wedding. Like, wouldn't your husband probably know his best friend a little better than that by then?
Right.
Like, give them some credit, I feel like. Like, they're not all just crazy people that don't have a clue. Like, you're acting like your husband, one, is either oblivious or doesn't have a clue about what's going on in his friend's life or what his friend is feeling. Like, if he only said it once, years ago, I just think it's not that deep. It's not as deep as what you think. And then the fact that she thought that the best idea would be to not talk to her husband about it, but instead privately contact the best friend behind her soon-to-be husband's back and ask the best friend to voluntarily drop out of the wedding. So you wanted your husband to have to get a message from his best friend of 20 years that says, hey man, I don't want to be your best man anymore. That's what you wanted your husband to deal with? That's so horrible.
Yeah. No, she seems like she doesn't really put much thought into her actions at this point.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah. I mean,
what outcome would she have wanted to happen? Genuinely.
I mean, I think that she wanted the best man to be like, okay, I'll drop out of your wedding.
And I'm not coming.
Yeah. And then she wanted the husband to receive that information and be like, oh, okay, he's not coming. New best man.
Yeah. Just mark it off the list. Not going to ask any questions. Like, why?
Like, you really think that is what would happen from that? Like, this is a very deep and serious friendship dilemma. Someone dropping out as your best man, that's not going to just like go over like it's nothing, you know?
Right. And I would assume that they would have some type of relationship if that's your soon-to-be husband's best friend. That's going to be his best man.
Exactly.
You have to know him pretty well yourself.
Yeah. So bizarre.
Yeah.
And like, did you think that this guy wasn't going to tell his best friend what was going on? Because I can tell you right now, if any of my friends, let alone like the ones that are closest to me, if any of their partners sent me a message, like, who do you think their loyalty is to? Like, if my best friend started dating someone and then I got some whack ass message asking me to drop out of their wedding, who do you think my loyalty lies with? Some random person that I met a couple years ago when my friend started dating them, or my best friend of 20 years?
Mm-hmm.
My loyalty lies with my best friend of 20 years. Like, of course he's gonna tell your husband.
Yeah. No doubt.
So yeah, you are an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Out of line.
Yep, wrong choice.
I think if it was my boyfriend / fiance / future husband, what would I do if they messaged my best friend and said, drop out of the wedding because I'm an insecure little bitch and I'm scared of you? I would be like, you're a fool. Like, I would just think you're such a fool. And it would really change my perception of the person that I'm in love with. Yeah,
and part of me feels like maybe this is not the first kind of out of line thing that she did, because he was real quick to pack up his stuff and go to his mom's house.
That's true. Yeah, he didn't say, babe, this isn't like you. Like, where did this come from? He was like, I'm outie. Goodbye.
Yeah.
You're so right. I bet it wasn't the first.
Yeah.
Good point. So yeah, asshole.
OP, check yourself, honey.
Facts. Okay, let's end on something very, very weird.
Okay, Juliet.
Okay, Nomeo. It would be so weird. I'm just like trying to think if I was dating a guy and he called me Juliet. Like, I get it. Like, I get that it's like a cute thing because it's a reference to literature if I was into literature, but like that is just a full out like somebody else's name.
I have a little bit of PTSD around Juliet.
Really?
I wasn't sure if I wanted to share this, but I guess I will. Because I genuinely felt bad about this. When I was in high school, we read Romeo and Juliet. And the book was, I was in speech class, I'll never forget it, like public speaking or whatever.
Yeah.
And the one girl in my class had the book on her desk. And like I jokingly said to her, like, oh, will you be my Juliet? Like as a joke, like not thinking anything of it. She laughed, didn't say anything, whatever. Like 2 or 3 periods later, I get called to like this random classroom. And there's like all these other boys like in my grade in there. And the teacher's like, you all have been accused of harassing said girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? And like I genuinely, like, I was like nice to everyone. Like I don't think that like I was not like a bully or anything. Like that wasn't me in high school. And all like the only reason why I got out of the thing is because like 3 of the guys that were bullies that were in the meeting were like, we can't take you serious because you have Jimmy Celia here. Like, come on, like stop. And I was like, what is this like in reference to? Like, I don't even know.
Like,
and she said that that's what it was.
Yeah.
And said that I was harassing her. And I was like, I will go to her right now and deeply apologize. Like, I did not intend, like, it was just like, you know, I thought that we had like a cordial friendship. And I was like, oh yeah, like be my Juliet. You know what I mean? Like, whatever.
Like you're reading the book.
Yeah. Like it wasn't anything like me trying to like make fun of her, be funny, like nothing like that.
That's kind of
so
sad.
I'm kind of like, if anyone ever calls me Juliet, I'll be like, no.
Wait, because that would be so sad if like somebody, like a really sweet boy in the grade, like had a crush on her or something and was like, oh, I'm gonna use this pickup line and it's gonna be like, will you be my Juliet to my Romeo?
Right.
And then he goes and like hits on her and has like pure intentions and is like, will you be my Juliet? But she has been like bullied by all these other people that she just thinks this like super nice guy is like making fun of her.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm just shooting my shot. I'm so sorry.
I wasn't even shooting my shot.
Yeah, I know,
I don't even know. It was
you were just like trying to make a joke.
Yeah, and I felt horrible then. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, no, I feel terrible that you felt this way.
Yeah, that's so sad. I'm sure she just like, if other people were actually messing with her, she was probably like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I have to just say something. And it just like sucks that your lighthearted comment like got mixed in with people who were actually being mean to her.
Yeah, I felt really bad.
But doesn't it speak to your character that people that were actually the rude people were like, you really have him here? Like, we all know that he's not.
Yeah, that part of it at least made me feel better because I was like, okay, like, and she like dismissed me. I was like the first person that got to leave the room because after they said that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she was like, okay, you could go back to class, but the rest of you have to stay. Like she kept the other ones.
Wow, what happened to them? Do you know? Like, what
I don't know if any of them got in any further like trouble, if they got, you know.
Do you know if they were actually like bullying her or like?
They probably were.
Okay.
Yeah.
They just weren't.
But and that again was like I tried to kind of build relationships with people that were bullied sometimes in high school because like I wanted to be nice to them and like
totally
let them have someone that they could like joke around with at school. You know what I mean? So I think that probably was another reason why I may have said something because I would try to like be friends with those. You know, I don't know. I was tried to be friends with everyone.
And she just like took it a little bit.
Yeah.
Wrong.
So that's just my little PTSD about Juliet.
Sad.
So girl, I get it. I get it, Juliet.
I feel like I'm trying to think of another couple in literature that I'm like, maybe it wouldn't be as weird. Like if there was like, what do they call In the Summer I Turned Pretty? Oh wait, no, that wasn't In the Summer I Turned Pretty, the main character girl and her like love interest call each other by Latin names or something because they took like Latin class together. And I'm like, okay, those were like just straight up not their names, but they called each other them. So I guess it's different because it's not a common name. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's another like love story though?
Just call me Jimmy.
Yeah.
I think like sometimes like when guys call me handsome or something like that, I cringe.
Handsome?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not terrible. I don't know. Like if they're like, hey, handsome, I'm like, hi.
That is kind of sad.
I don't know. I don't love the names.
Wait, so what if they called you like sexy or like cutie?
No, cutie sounds like, what am I? A kindergartner or something? Like, don't call me cutie. I'm not a kid. And sexy, like, go watch porn. Like, don't call me sexy.
What if they called you? Wait, so okay, I don't think there's any other like descriptive names. But what if they called you like
good
hottie?
looking? Hottie.
What if they were like, hey, hottie?
Hey. I don't know.
What if they
I'm
called
just
you,
not big on the names.
What if they called you babe or baby?
So I'm okay with like babe and baby maybe like months after we're dating.
Okay.
Pretty far into the relationship.
I feel like I call a lot of people babe though. Like I'll call my friends babe.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a very girly thing to like call other girls. Like
Yeah.
my friends will text each other and be like, hey babe, like do you want to hang out later?
Right.
So I feel like babe's not weird.
Yeah, maybe not as much. I don't know. If I
That
gotta,
is so funny that you don't like being
I just
called,
like don't like
any
names. I don't like
descriptive
names.
adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I literally will like get the ick
Yeah.
from someone calling me handsome. And this is why I'm in the
So-
position that I'm in.
That is so funny. What if they were like, hey beautiful? Is that
No,
worse than
no.
handsome?
Makes me think of like Beautiful Soul by
Jesse
Jesse McCartney. Long live. But
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
I don't know.
Wait, so
If my future lovers listening,
Yeah.
just stick to Jimmy.
this is a good tip, because I think if someone was pursuing you,
Hmm.
they would listen to this podcast if they really wanted to get a better taste of who you are. So if they're listening, and this episode, we've probably been talking for almost 2 hours. So if you made it to this point, we know that you care about us. So
Keep listening.
tips for you. This is a tip for any potential people that are interested in Jimmy romantically.
And this babe, this handsome
This
babe,
handsome, yeah.
handsome hottie baby cutie.
Do you ever see this TikToks
Got
that are
it.
like, they're like, slay, yes, bitch, pussy ass queen.
Yeah, that's what yes.
Yes.
Slay mama, yes, hunty queen. Yeah, like that is.
I love saying that. I have been saying slay more
That's
than
the
I'd
new
like to
thing now.
admit.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
Yeah.
Slay.
Slay, fricked. I kind of stopped saying badussi, but we could bring it back. I think everyone likes it.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
call me handsome and I might badassi. And not in a good way.
Slay. Okay, last story.
Funny one.
My husband eats hard-boiled eggs with the shell. Slay, pussy queen. His job provides lunch, and hard-boiled eggs are always available. He likes them, but he says they are always terribly hard to peel, to the point where the egg will just rip in half. So instead, he just puts hot sauce on the shell and crunches through the whole unpeeled egg. He says it's good calcium. So weird, I needed to share. LOL.
I was not expecting
I
that
just
at all.
worry about him
Yeah.
physically from a health perspective. Can you eat an eggshell and be fine? Like, can you eat an eggshell?
I get it. In this economy, eggs are like $8 a dozen. You know, you don't want to waste half the egg, but like
Okay, true.
maybe just put a little bit more time into the craft of peeling an egg.
I love that he's like, it was hard to peel, so I just put hot
Hot
sauce
sauce.
on. That's like being like, the orange was hard to peel, so I just ate the rind. The banana was hard to peel, so I just ate the whole thing.
Yeah, and I feel like eggshells, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could eat them and like be fine, but like I feel like digestively,
I know,
like
that's
could
what
they
I'm
like kind of
wondering.
F you up a little bit?
Yeah, but I mean, he is still doing it, so I guess it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, OP. I would.
Yeah. The second top comment is, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Literally, I'm sitting here feeling a little nauseous. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm feeling like the texture of the egg on my teeth.
Yeah.
In my head.
It's definitely weird, but I hope he's okay. I hope he's healthy. I hope that cutie, handsome king is healthy. What if someone called you king?
No.
No?
But as long as if it's funny, sure.
I've been calling everyone king recently.
Yeah, that's fine as a
Okay.
joke. But
Okay.
you know. Also, what if the boyfriend was just like, you remember the Amanda show?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the girl that would just be like, I like eggs. I like eggs all the time.
I
Right?
would have
That-
never
yeah,
thought about that, but yes, I remember it.
That's where my head goes right now. I don't know why. I like eggs. Right? That was from that, right? Yeah.
I think so.
From the girls' room.
Yeah,
In the
I think
bathroom,
so.
right? Yeah.
If my boyfriend told me that he eats eggs with the shell, I would just be like, baby cutie king, handsome man, are you okay?
Yeah, that's what I would ask. Are you okay? Are you good?
Yeah. I would be like, do you need a little help peeling them? I could help you. I don't know.
Like I said, I would go and buy some eggs and we'd do some practice. But I guess if lunch is like it's at work, so like he doesn't have control over like the craft of making them, because
Yeah.
I know when I boil my eggs, I put them right in an ice bath and they slide off like
Really?
Oh yeah, and they slide
Oh.
off like anything. So
Okay.
I guess he can't control that variable, but you could control the rest.
Yeah.
That includes, or you know what, find something better at lunch to
Yeah.
eat. Like I don't know that I would ever, if I had trouble I don't know who likes eggs that much, but even if I did, I don't think that in my right mind I would ever just be like, F it.
I would never turn
just
to
eat the whole
eating a
thing.
shell.
Yeah,
No.
like I just wouldn't eat the egg.
Because I feel like we've all gotten the eggshell in our mouth at one time. Like if there a little piece you didn't see was still stuck to it. It's a horrible feeling.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
What is happening there? I don't know.
Who
I
hurt
worry
you?
about him. Yeah, who hurt you? He's hurting himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what? People are fucking weird, and that's okay.
Yeah, that one's
YOLO.
weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
But whatever. Maybe he's nice in every other way. And it's like, we're all a little weird. Some people more than others. I think I fall into that category.
I think everyone that we talked about today was weird.
Yeah.
Minus maybe. No.
What?
I was going to say the first lady that wore the
T-shirts.
daughter's
Yeah.
boyfriend's shirts.
No, I think she's weird.
I think she's weird too, but she
Yeah.
might be the least weird out of all the ones that we talked about today. Like, these are some weird ass people,
Yeah, weird ass people.
including the shelled egg man. Period, hunty queen, boo.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, hope you guys liked this episode. It was so fun.
Pure chaos.
I thought you were going to say period queen.
No, you know what you're getting. Period. Badussi.
We're bringing back the first episode.
Queenie
Period.
Frick. Yeah, Queenie Fricked period. Boo.
Boo.
Handsome.
Anyway, tell us the pet name that you hate the most.
Yes.
And subscribe to our podcast. Rate us 5 stars if you liked it. If you hated it, rate us 5 stars. And thank you so much for listening.
We love the comments too.
Yes, keep commenting.
We've been loving the comments lately.
Yes, please keep commenting on our videos. It makes me very happy. I like send screenshots to people when I get a good comment. I'm like,
Yeah, it's great.
Yes. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and subscribe and share it with your friends and rate it 5 stars, and have a great day. I hope you're thriving. We love you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.